Thanks so much for being here. It's honestly a really beautiful thing to see a room full of people who just want to hear some poetry. Amazing job to Alyssa and Matt. It was just really great to hear you guys, and I'm excited to read for you. So, as you can probably tell, I do a lot of talking between poems. I apologize ahead of time if that's not your thing, but I kind of just like to separate my time between poems. So writers and non-writers, I really feel like we all just watch things and take them in and make sense of them. And that's really what poetry does for me. So starting with my first poem, which I think really puts into perspective how much no one ever really knows what they're doing. But we're still taking it all in and we're moving on and making sense of it. But again, who actually really knows? At this point, you think you know what you're doing. Putting on your seatbelt, taking care of the ones you love, buying whole grain bread because you heard somewhere that it's good, so you eat it too. Because when good things are handed to you, they have some sort of unsaid excuse for being there. They're accepted. Just like I accept these the power lines I'd never noticed before until I was driving up this hill. Everything is above and connected. Everything is something a bird can sit on and watch. So you watch things and you kind of start watching yourself, and that's what this poem comes from, is like kind of you're like the onlooker of your own self. Portrait. First, you will be sitting in your car, then looking in through the driver's side window at yourself, and it will no longer be as if you even want to know the drifter inside, the one with worked fingernails, a grip, and a stare. You could catch the train, but that's not the problem. You get distracted by a pile of laundry in the back seat, and the pictures in your trunk that never made it to a wall. You had the strength to call it a day, but opening the car door, you left your headlights on, and upon the constant beep of the alarm, you just wish you had the strength to really clean this car. Seriously, though. Okay. Knowing a window. A mother knows the tree outside her kitchen window, knows its limbs stretching in the wind, its leaves glittering in the light rain, the blue breaths it takes in the sunlight. Once each dish is rinsed and placed to dry, so are her yellow rubber gloves at the neck of the sink that still throbs with warmth from the work. The window is waiting. The tree is waiting. And the sun is too far down, distracted to know them as he wheels the limp lawnmower up to the backyard. Beyond the fence, you can see, if you climb to the top of the shed, a sonogram of the blackened city buildings. So I've done a lot of traveling in the past 2 years. I went on 2 road trips cross country to Phoenix, Arizona, and back again. And I am just really inspired by the idea of traveling and commuting. Laura knows I commuted back and forth to UNH, so I did a lot of forgive me, Mom, like texting myself some writing because I did so much thinking in the car. And there's just something about traveling, not only with people, but just alone in a terminal. And that's where this comes from. The terminal. A woman fluffs her scarf with one hand, cell phone in the other, morphing the cartoonish tulip pattern into a blur of pink pellets. Behind her, drops of rain ink down the window, streaking in a throbbing stripe that pools together until the puddle spits new paths. The pattern is familiar. It was made with the first splash of grenadine and the Shirley Temples that I ordered at special lunches with my mother, or when I followed the veins up her arm with my finger as she slept. Beyond the raindrops, a man wearing highlighter orange directs traffic with 2 glowing sticks. The planes creep slowly towards the man, but with earplugs and years of experience, he trusts the colossal engines and the pilot who he cannot see through the tiny cockpit window and the lines in the pavement that show which way to turn the plane. So he stays put, waving his arms, the way my mother waved me to quiet down during her soap opera on weekdays. The child, clenching a yellow crayon in his right fist, uses the vinyl chair next to me as a table to practice drawing stars. I try not to stare. I hear my mother's voice say, "Cut that out," but I'm staring already. This is more about traveling and meeting people in really strange places, like Arkansas or wherever we happen to be. No, I don't know. Sorry if you're from Arkansas. And certainly having enough time, even with a group of 5 girls, thinking about things because you just don't want to talk to them. So writing about that. This is the case. "How was your meal, ma'am?" said the 17-year-old Chick-fil-A cashier. "Lovely," is what I said. What I wanted to say was, how was it that you were born here in this town in Arkansas? And how was it that these churches grew up on the side of Interstate 40, or, as I'm telling my friends, Route 66, the size of shopping malls? And how was it that I grew up in the age of non-smoking establishments and Google searches? Then again, that's us, actually. We grew up that way, the same, minus a few churches. And I wonder what I would believe if I stayed around here longer. I'd probably take the Bible from the desk drawer at the Days Inn, probably believe it when the billboard with a red mountain backdrop says, "Warning, you will meet God." Selling yourself. This is a favorable thing, this love for animals. No, this love for what animals stand for and what I should like if I'm going to be part of this. I could be a part of this. I know what to say. But I'd rather read up on current events. I'd rather show off to this out-of-service automatic door, to this calendar on my smartphone. Here, I'll make it easy. I'll just tell you what I like. What I like is chicken instead of turkey, crayons with the exact right color name, chain restaurants that serve free chips or popcorn or bread. On the other hand, I try not to surround myself with vinyl siding, broken straws, or things that can be paid off in 4 equal payments of $19.95. I'll tell you all this as if it's a fact, and I know it. But what we can really get from all this is we mistake ourselves sometimes, just as others do. So I went through this crazy stream of consciousness phase in my writing, and I'm just totally obsessed with language, but plain language and how you can really find rhythm in anything that anyone says. So yeah, it's just beautiful to me. And this was a few of these coming up are just from that like phase of me just loving this stream of consciousness idea. All right. Just because being at this bar also means that I'm wearing boots, and these boots click when I walk, it doesn't mean that these boots talk, but if they did, I think they would tell me that I taste like I'm about to walk across the room and pull the back of my shirt over the top of my jeans before linking arms with someone. And they would be right, because I start talking to the person to my right. We speak fondly about the curve of some other girls behind, which brings me to the curve that must be obvious on my brow because I can't stop staring, so I apologize, though not out loud. Come to think of it, I take that back. What I do is stare at my daydream. I become awake with the thoughts of a success. Won the lottery, brought all my friends on a vacation. And that guy, is he coming over to me, or am I still in a trance? Are my boots still here? Am I even awake? Sorry. All I know is what I need, but only at my own pace. I am never satisfied. Not with all these inheritances. Not when I wake up every night at 3 a.m. and think of ways I can organize my jewelry and wonder if vitamins are really benefiting my health. Even if they aren't, I like the taste. Thank you. Another stream of consciousness, bear with me. When it comes down to it, you would think I would have practiced what to say next. I could have held open auditions with myself, directed every move down to the blinks, the eye contact, the offering gesture of my open palms, sorry look, little blinking. I heard once somewhere that nothing is ever as quick as it's told. And when it came time to tell as I didn't want to cast myself, and yet there I was, center stage in my best friend's kitchen. I see myself living vicariously through my feet or looking at them, and I wonder about new shoelaces. So I tighten them and I go on. If I knew how to go on, I'd think I could get used to this, and I'm sure I would make a good home for myself there. iron the curtains, bring home fresh flowers, and as for special occasions, I would plan ahead. I would sit at a calendar book with 5 or 6 internet windows open on my computer with a cup of coffee that puts me to sleep, but I do it for the caramel swirl and because I look around and everyone's got one. But I give up because I've lost all attention, because there are too many turns to take on these directions downtown to the taco shop where I pay cash and order my burrito to go. I would have liked to go to a cooking class, Pilates, even church, to be trained in schedule making or get rich enough to hire someone to make my schedule for me. Maybe help me stick to just one thing. And I have wondered about sticking to one thing, but the truth is I don't trust certainty. So the last ones are some of my new stuff, so kind of just bear with me because I am kind of out of practice. I really just write on my own, and whatever I do is only in my eyes at this point, so I really appreciate you being here to hear it. What a thing. To look around and know exactly where you are. There's the elevator. There's the hair kiosk, and I can't help but stare. There's the water fountain. Oh no, it's where the water fountain used to be, where in 2nd grade I wished for a few Beanie Babies with a few dimes, but not just any Beanie Babies. I wanted the special edition gold tag ones that I kept in a bin in my closet. Don't remember taking them out really ever, but I still know that they were there. Still like to know that they were there. And finally, here I am. We all are, sitting around waiting for something that's ours, something that grabs our attention. We live with things within our reach, but none of it is ours. Making time. I know how to set my alarm. Set it for class, for running errands after a nap, for the football game that I watched from inside my car, hands frozen and delayed in the bite of New England winter. I know how to set my alarm for inexplicable things, too. I want to be happy, 7 a.m. And sometimes I'm not, 5 p.m. Get away from me, alarm, we say. I can't take it anymore. And I live in a timed world. I groan more than the water pipes in an old house where each house carries the noises between floors. No wonder the sea called. It must feel so lonely. My closest friends survive the travel. They steer the boat, both hands calloused, wiping sweat off their forehead with the shoulder of their bejeweled collar cotton blouse. They are happy there. They are surrounded by many things. Think of a department store where all the next season's items are full price. I'm in debt of mistakes. I owe a few people, and these kinds of things can get expensive. All right, finally, I'm on my last one. I don't know how I'm doing with timing. I hope it's all good. So this one's kind of a copycat poem, which I tend to do a lot, but it's based off of McKeel McBride's Lake Meadow Sky, which is one of just my all-time favorite poems. It really takes my breath away, and it's all one sentence, so I attempted to do a one-sentence poem after hers, and so this is for her. Hearing and seeing. It was only after I said what I wanted most, felt it escape me as ruthless as the man who calls a shopping cart his home and still sees a railroad track and calls it poetic, yet is unmoved by the subway guitar music, that I, boundless and even in the weight of it all, knew that I would have to say everything. Thank you guys so much for being here.